Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm glad to be with you today. We're going to continue our unit on how to draw faces. And last week we learned about the eyes. So as you can see behind me, we're going to work on how to draw a nose today. And if you hear some very loud noises in this video, the snow and ice is falling off my roof and it's very loud. So we'll just have a little background noise today. All right, but let's get started. This is a simple lesson to do, but it's very important if you're going to draw somebody's face. So let's begin. All right, I'm gonna get my screen where it needs to be, and then we will get started. Since we are learning about drawing faces, I thought I would start with some little faces that you've seen all year, up close and personal. There's their self-portraits. How's that? That's their faces every time they hear all the snow falling off the roof. They don't like that loud noise. But there they are, getting big. All right, so we're going to work on how to draw the nose. Now let's talk about the nose for just a minute. We worked on drawing eyes last week, and the eyes are inside of your eyelids. And they're kind of inside of your face, and we see when your eyelids are open, we see your eyeballs or see the part that's exposed. Your nose, though, sticks out from your face. It's called a projection, and that means it's out and it's a part of your face, but it's the three-dimensional part you can touch right now. And we're going to look at some parts of your nose because you're going to be drawing them. Now, up there between your eyebrows, that's called the nasal root. And if you feel that, you can feel your nose right now while we're doing this. That's like a hard, bony part of your nose. And if you pat your nose, be gentle, pat down your nose, that is the bridge. And that feels a little more firm. It's firm, but it's got a little bit of wiggle room because your nose is made of something called cartilage, which is a soft, bony material. It's not a hard, unfixed bone that you have here in your nose. Then if you tap down a little bit further, that padded point at the end is the tip. Nothing really scientific there. Then you have your nostrils, which is why you can breathe. And you have the padded parts on the side of your nose where you that house the nostril. And then that little indented part underneath your nose or underneath the tip, that's called the philtrum, or you can call it the fill. Okay, that's the part that's underneath your nose right before you get to your lips. So these are the parts of the nose that you are going to draw today. We're going to work on how to do that. Okay, first of all, there are all different kinds of noses, just like there are all different kinds of eyes. And I've got my pointer on here. You can't see the nasal root or the bony part between the eyebrows in this picture, but you can see this is the bridge of the nose. Here is the tip, and we have the nostrils, and then the philtrum, the fill part down here. Okay, we won't worry too much about that today. So this is an adult or a teenager nose. This is a baby's nose. Now, babies have smaller, shorter noses. Okay, so their noses are not going to be as long if you're drawing a smaller child than they will be for an adult. Different parts of the nose can be more pronounced or be larger than others. You know, sometimes we have a larger tip of the nose. Sometimes the bridge of the nose is a little bit wider and larger too, depending on the person. We're all like snowflakes. We're all a little bit different. So today we're going to practice drawing noses. And if you are still practicing drawing eyes, that's super. We're just going to add another part to the face to learn how to perfect. And another thing, I put this picture here just to show you, just to remind you that the nose sticks out from the face. It is not flat against your face. It's a projection. So you can almost think of it as a three-dimensional shape. All right, but we're going to focus for this unit on just drawing the front view of people. So we're working on drawing what we see from the front of someone, not the side view like you see there, but still, the nose is a 3D shape. So let's begin. I'm going to change my screen back here. That was nice and short and sweet. And what you may want to do is, we're going to do this together. How to draw a nose, how to get the basic shape of a nose. But if you want to draw more noses, what I've showed you just now, or what you see on the screen behind me, those are good, or these are good reference photos. And a reference photo, all that means, it's a picture to go by so that you draw things correctly. So you can use pictures of other people's faces or pictures of noses like this to help you continue to learn how to draw different noses or eyes or any faces. So what we're going to do now, I am going to change over to my iPad so that we can begin drawing our next part of the face. See you soon. Okay, everyone, you should see my paper. Now, just as a reminder from last week, we drew the eyes, or we worked on how to draw eyes, and there was our project from last week and how we got it started with drawing the eyeballs. Okay, we're going to do something similar today for how to draw a nose. Okay. Now, obviously, it won't be the circular, like the almost reminds me of crosshairs shape that we did to get the eyeball drawn correctly. But we're going to take a sheet of paper and have it landscape. All right. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. So what we're going to do, take your paper landscape wise and fold it taco style. On your paper or on your table. All right. Then after we do that, we're going to do that burrito fold where we fold it in thirds. So I'm going to take it, and don't worry about it being perfect, but I'm going to kind of roll my paper up a little bit. And it's okay if it doesn't get perfect, okay? In fact, I'm seeing right here that maybe I need to move this piece over a little. Okay, so I'm doing my burrito fold. I'm going to crease it. And then open it up. Okay, so I have my 6 squares. Now I'm going to do this a little bit differently because we're not drawing eyes this time. We're drawing a nose. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the basic shapes that you need to draw a nose or draw from the front view. And I'm going to start I'm doing it in this square at the bottom, so the middle bottom square. And yeah, everybody kind of needs to do this from the middle bottom square to start. Okay, so we're going to talk, I know we talked, but there's a part up here called the nasal root that's up there where your eyebrows are, but we're going to work on drawing the bridge of the nose, or the part that represents the bridge of the nose. So what I'm doing here very lightly, and then I'll go in and I'll make it darker, is I'm drawing an oval, and you could make this oval perfect by doing the crosshairs through it like we did the eyes, but it doesn't really have to be, because honestly, nobody's nose is perfect. Nobody knows. Think about that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a basic oval shape. All right. Then I'm going to think about, there's a tip on the nose. Okay, so there's a tip, and I am going to add that tip right about here. In fact, it's going to actually get a little bit bigger. So we're just drawing some shapes right now. You're thinking, what does that in the nose? I know. Hold on. So I'm going to add that there, and then I'm going to add some circles to the side. Now, tip, nostrils, bridge. Okay, I can keep this basic shape, and if you want to make it a little bit darker, you can. But what we're going to do is I can kind of see that through my page, just like we did with the eyes last time. We did the white of the eye, the pupil, and the iris before we drew it, so we had the eyelid over top of it. Well, this is the same way. So I can kind of see that through there. If you wanted to take a marker, you do not have to do this if you don't have a marker, and make those shapes a little bit darker, you can. Now remember, not everybody's nose is the same. So we're just drawing a basic shape of a nose, and you don't have to do this every single time. You'll get better at this as time goes on. So I made it a little bit darker so that would help me. Now this is important too. Okay, sometimes when we draw a nose, and I will show this on the back, this is what I see people do or see kids do. I'm just doing this on the back for a moment. They go like this. There, you see my lines there. Really heavy lines. I know the sound effects were probably not necessary. Okay, but your nose sticks out from your face, but it's not, we don't see, you don't, if you look at the pictures in the green screen behind me in that corner, there aren't really heavy lines that make up your face when you're looking at it front on. We see the idea, we see the projection that your nose sticks out. But we don't have to draw these really heavy, hard shapes because we're going to use some elements of art and we're going to do some shading. We're going to use some light marks to show where the light and the shadows hit the nose. So I can see through my paper here the nose that I drew. And I am now going to, I'm not going to trace over the lines. Oops, I got ahead of myself there. But I'm going to start to think, okay, here's the top of that oval that I drew. So that part where my eyebrows are, I'm going to put some very light lines like this. And that's kind of be the start of where the eyebrows go. Okay, and then I'm going to very lightly draw some lines going down. Very light, okay? Just the idea of the nose sticking out. And I may even take my pencil a little bit and add it a little bit darker on this side. Okay. And then I'm going to get down here to where my tip is of my nose. I'm going to add that as well. And then I'm going to make like a shape here. It's going to be like a curved line. Get my hand out of the way. I'm going to go up like this. Okay, so I shaded in where the bridge of my nose is, and I kind of marked where the root was, where my eyebrows start. And I put the tip of my nose down there, very, very light line. But now I'm going to kind of make like a little wavy line. I'm going to do a nostril here and a nostril here. Now the nostrils are going to be dark, okay? Nostrils are dark because they are a hole in your face. That's just keeping it real. You have 2 holes in your face. Actually, you have 3 because you've got a mouth, okay? Yes, so I'm going to make the nostrils dark. And some people's nostrils, you see more of it when you're looking at the front face or the front on, you're going to see more nostril than others. And I know people are saying, she said nostril. Okay, yes, it's a part of your face, part of the nose. And then here is the tip of my nose, okay? So I made the tip a little bit darker, but that's kind of okay because the tip will have a little more shade, you know, be a little bit darker than the sides here, okay? But see how lightly, and you can even take your finger and go over it. Right now I need to do the sides of the nostril. So I'm going to use those circles I drew very lightly. Go over them. And voila, my friends, look at that. I'll try to get a little bit closer to the camera there. You just drew a nose. Look how simple that was. Yes, you can draw a nose. You can draw a lifelike looking nose. Yes, you. And this part up here, we marked where the nasal root or where the eyebrows would be. You can go back and erase that a little bit, make it a little more of a curved line after you get the rest of the nose in, shade it in a little bit. But that's about where the bony part of your face, where your forehead would start. So there's a nose. You just drew a nose, yo. You did. You did. You drew a nose. We'll do another one here before we're done. But let's talk about little kid noses or baby noses, all right? Now, baby noses, we will not have the same shape as much because, like I said, baby noses are softer and smaller and shorter because babies in general, their bones are softer and still growing. So kind of like if you've ever held a baby, someone said to you, watch their soft spot and on their head because their bones are soft and not completely fused yet. So if we're going to draw a little kid's nose or a baby's nose, that bridge part is going to be a lot smaller. maybe even smaller than this. And that tip of the nose is going to be it's going to almost be, the babies don't even really have a tip of the nose yet. It's like, or they do, but it's very soft and small. And then the nostril part of their nose. Nose is so tiny. I'll hold it up here to the camera because my Zoom doesn't work so great on my iPad. Okay, it's going to be very small. Small and delicate. The nose is very small on a baby. Okay. All right, so I can kind of see this through my paper. I should make it a little bit darker, just so it shows up better on camera. Okay. And you don't have to, when you do these shapes like this to help you get started when you're learning, they don't have to be perfect and you don't have to use them completely. Okay, so there, I just darkened it, all right? See, darkened it a little bit so it'll show up. And I fold my paper over. Okay, but let's do this. So I'm drawing a baby nose. I'm gonna very lightly put the lines up there for the bridge. Remember, babies don't have much of they have a very short nose. And then I'm going to come down here and here's my tip. Very lightly put the tip in. And then I'm going to make it like a wavy little line where I put in my, oops, move the hand, where I put in my nostrils. And then gently, 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 I'm going to draw the padded part of my nostril. And then I'm going to make the nostril part a little bit darker, okay? And there's my baby nose. And then you can make it shaded in a little bit. But voila, now you've drawn a adult or young person nose, young adult nose, and then you've drawn a baby nose. It's very simple. Okay, if you follow those basic shapes, it really helps a lot. Now, here's a challenge for you. You can find a picture of a nose, or what you can do, you can take a picture of yourself and you can try to draw your own nose. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw my own nose. Okay? And you might think, what? But sometimes that's the best way to learn. I'm trying to put my camera, you're not going to be able to see it, but I am going to turn my camera on here. Okay. So what I just did, I just took a selfie of myself and so I could see a picture of my nose. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in. So you're thinking, what? Try it out. All right, so if you want, you can do this same shape again. If you're not sure if you can draw the nose without having the basic guidelines. I'm looking at my nose right now, and my nose kind of is, I got an oval here for my bridge, but my oval is wider at the bottom. Just keeping it real. So that's like my bridge of my nose, and then my tip is right here, actually, and my tip comes down like this a little bit. And then my nostrils, at least from this picture, kind of up like this. So here's the tip of my nose, and then here are my, I got kind of small on the edges there. Actually, I kind of drew those a little bit bigger. Okay? Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so that may not be perfect, and I might even go up here and, yeah, I got this part here where it's going to connect to my eyebrows. All right, so I've got the basic idea of my nose, my own nose. It's not perfect, but that's okay. So you can try this out with your nose as well. Or a picture, you could just find a random picture of a nose. If you find an interesting person or someone that you think would be cool to draw, you can go for that. Maybe a celebrity, I don't know. All right, and then I'm going to draw it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm gently, I call them whisper lines, but when you do this, like take your pencil and go back and forth. It's almost like that, okay? To get that soft, feathery effect where you can just take your finger over it. Oops, don't go away, picture. Actually, my nose is a little crooked, but that's okay. I've never broken my nose. I don't know why it would be. Except that's just how my face looks. Okay, so there's the bridge of my nose. Actually, I drew it a little bit narrower there than what it really is. So I just drew the shaded area of my nose, and then I come down here. Actually, the tip of my nose is crooked. It really is. Kind of goes up like, I can't describe it. My tip of my nose is crooked. You'll notice funny things about your face when you go to draw them. But yeah, how do I draw that on a slant? Kind of like that maybe? I don't know. I have a crooked tip to my nose. And then actually my tip goes up. Here's my nostril. Don't be afraid to make the nostril dark. Of all the things you're going to draw for the nose, the nostril gets to be dark. And then this nostril is actually smaller and up higher than the other. So nobody's face is perfect. Then you kind of see I've got like a broad nose, a broad tip of my nose. I'm going to do that. Wow, a bunch of snow just fell off the roof right outside this window here. And then I'm going to do my nostril area. I'm going to go over it. There we go. And shade that a little bit more. And actually, I can come in a little bit here because my nose is actually crooked on this side. Like this side of my nose raises up and it's a little crooked over there. Okay. Actually, this part could be a little bit straighter. So I'm talking to myself as I work, and that's okay. It's not weird to talk to yourself when you're drawing or to be thinking out loud as you're drawing, because that's how you learn. Now, one thing I did not put in here on these is the philtrum, or the fill, the part that's beneath your, no, not your tip to your lip, tip to the lip. So all you have to do for that, you don't have to draw it on both sides. You can just draw a very light line. That's a little off center to the tip to kind of represent that. Okay, and babies don't really have a very strong philtrum underneath their nose because they're babies and their features are softer and smaller. Okay, but hey, you just drew a nose, a very lifelike looking nose with very gentle shapes, very gentle marks on the page. If you want to, this is only an if you want to, this is not a have to. So you can keep practicing drawing noses to go along with your eyes. Ooh. Okay, we're really putting the face together. What you could do, and I went ahead and did this so I could show you, but what you could do, you could take a paper. Okay, and I should have waited, but take a paper, just fold it in half. Fold it in half, not folding it taco style, folding it book style or hamburger style. There you go. And then open it up. And what I did, I drew the eyeball shape that we got started with last time. And then I drew a nose shape down in the middle. I kind of centered it in between. All right. And then I folded this over top of it and I practiced drawing the eyes and then putting in the nose, or putting in the nostrils. And I waited to do a couple details here so you could see how this would all work or all go together. So you can practice putting all the features of a face, or all the features you've learned so far, together, and you'll be surprised at how much you can actually do that you probably didn't think you could do not too long ago. All right, so, but you don't have to do that if you're not ready to do that yet. You can just draw your examples of noses, okay? Totally up to you. So we did eyes, we've done nose. What do you think we're doing next week? We are going to learn how to draw mouth. Mouth is next, okay? So, and mouth is not that bad either. And then after we do that, we're going to start to put together, make a portrait. All right? So now you know how to draw a nose. Please practice, have fun, take a picture of it, send it to me so I can see how you're doing. All right, friends, have a super week. I know this was kind of a shorter lesson, but what you can do, you can practice if you want, putting the eyes and the nose together, perfect or progress rather as much as you can before next week when we add the mouth, which is really fun because a mouth gives us lots of chances to add expression. Okay, friends, I will see you next time. Goodbye.